Hey guys, welcome to London Players Guild. I'm here tonight with John again,
Hello.
and with Nathan Mills from from the UK Trading Group. Sorry.
Right.
So on today's podcast, we're going to tackle two topics that are kind of the same. So the first topic we want to tackle is the power creep, because there has been a talk that there is a power creep happening in the game. Every set makes the previous one, or rather, every block makes the previous one weaker and unusable. So what's your opinion? We're on the verge of set 6, which got delayed by another 3 weeks in UK today, but what's your take on that?
I'll let Nathan go first.
Um, so the way the game's set up at the moment, I think they need to carry on making the next set stronger in order to actually make the sales. Because I think if you look at the end of the day, Bandai are a company and they need to sell the product. And I don't think they'd sell a deck, or sorry, a set of cards where the main decks in there are weaker than what's currently available because nobody would buy it.
But surprisingly, Dragon Ball, at least in Europe from what I've seen, is a very casual-oriented game. A lot of players are casuals and play the deck they like rather than the best deck in the format. Of course, there's lots of players that play the best deck in the format, but a lot of people are really excited about the new set 6, and you don't have any clear best deck in there. At least
No,
I don't think you do.
I agree with that to some extent, but then you're gonna lose what 30-40% of your market if you decide to not make the next deck just as good or better than what's already available. So on top of it being a casual game, like you said, that's going to be 60% of the market. 40% of the market is a bit more competitive.
I think Liam just joined us. Hello, Liam.
Hello.
Okay, so there is four of us now.
Has it started?
Yes, it has started.
Okay, let me just move some stuff around. What's going on?
That's fine.
I completely agree with Nathan. They have to keep the game going at this level that they have to keep people wanting to play it. Because I only think a power creep matters when it's something like Yu-Gi-Oh had when they went into Element Dragons. Then there was like that Draco
Yes.
sack, like that. That's a power creep that really like affects a game. Where this one's kind of like you can still play your Nathan proved it when he top 16 with veggies, right? Like
Yes.
that deck's been around since set 2-3, and he's
three.
still going. Yeah, and he's still going with it. Like it's proof that the power creep isn't killing other decks.
I think it's mostly that it was a rogue deck that no one was expecting.
Yeah,
No
one
offense
was
here,
fine.
Nathan.
No, it's fine.
No,
I did the same thing before at the London Players Guild as well. I just played Ginyu veggies, and nobody was side decking Cronoa, so 3 wins.
Like it's proof that the power creep of this game is not killing older sets. Like it's just not. So it's a healthy stage right now. But when they bring out a card that just says "I win the game," quote unquote, victory strike, that's a power creep. So if they don't do that again, then the game will be fine at the pace it's going. I believe.
Yeah, I think if going back to the example from Yu-Gi-Oh with the Elemental Dragons, I think that was poor planning and playtesting, where they didn't realize how broken a deck like that could be.
Yeah.
So I think Bandai are doing a good job at the moment of making sure there is power creep, but it's to an extent.
Yeah, it's a healthy one.
Guys,
Like,
let
Yeah.
Liam join in as well.
sorry.
right, what is the question? I gather
Power creep.
something power creep.
So we're covering two topics. At the moment, the first topic we're covering right now is the power creep in the sets. So they
Yeah.
are creating a power creep in the blocks rather than sets, I would say, because every block has all the expansions in the block have roughly the same power level, I noticed.
Yeah.
But the blocks keep on getting more and more powerful, and we are on the verge of set 6 right now, which is the last
I
set of the
mean-
block.
I think that the power creep in this game is very much like what is that? Inflatable, flailing, wailing Tubeman or whatever they're called. Like, it's all over the place. Like, as soon as something... It's so mental, like, in some regards.
You've never heard the John laughing, have you? John,
No,
mute your mic, please.
It's so true, though. Like, you look at some things and they're not very good. Like, you look at... I'm going to go off a card. I literally have a pile of stuff from set 2 or 3, literally in front of me for no reason whatsoever, other than I'm a very disorganized human being.
Don't worry, my desk looks the same.
Right, set 5. Spike to the rescue.
Oh, Jesus Christ,
This
that's
card-
the best description of anything I've ever heard in my life.
This card is not very good, but when you combine it with what would have been, is it Vegeta Baby? Then the power creep on that is pretty good, because then the card becomes really, really, really good. But earlier, when I first joined, and you was talking about veggies, when veggies first came out, and when it very, very first came out, I thought they were a little bit too good. Like, I found it a little bit intrusive.
They were bad when the sets came out.
Okay.
No, not when the promo. No, not when. As soon as like Ginyu veggies was like a thing. That was set 2, wasn't it?
No,
Veggies
veggies.
Oh
are
no,
set
it's set 3. Yeah, it was set 3
because
you
that's
needed
in the dash pack you got Kappa and you got Shigeshita.
but
Yeah, so in set
soon-
2 when you had Caulifla and Kale,
Set 3 is Caulifla.
sorry, you just had Kale, and then you also had Caulifla, but you didn't get the promo Cabba for a while.
No, the promo Kappa and Caulifla are set 3. Promo Kappa is dash pack set 3 and Caulifla is SR from set 3.
Yeah, the only save we had was Kale from set 2.
The only veggie we got that was Kale.
When you just had the green veggies, the deck wasn't
so
that
set
good.
3. So when you had only Kappa, when you had only Caulifla and Kale, on its own it was not good.
Yeah.
The TOP made the deck, wasn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Because the deck before that, you had a lot of filler cards. You just had to play a lot of filler green cards. So you ended up playing like the Gotenks from set 1, where you draw up a card from your hand, and people were still playing like just a lot of cards that were Shigesh targets just for the sake of it, and the deck wasn't that good.
Terrasites.
No, Terrasites is a good card.
Terrasaf was broken.
Oh, Terrasaf was fun.
I used to get some in this card. Now I have 15k combo for free.
Yeah, exactly.
I think
It's still a good card.
25 because you got 2 tokens, Terrasite and Shigesh.
Yeah, but the Terrasaf gave you the 15k.
Yeah.
Some power creep was generated from literal keywords, right? Like
Swap.
No, I mean like as soon as they started doing barrier,
Yes.
like it basically forced. Let me have a look.
But
I
was
think
completely necessary.
But I think right now Barrier is in a good spot because we have some cards that ignore Barrier and some cards that don't. Still, the cards that don't ignore Barrier are still playable, like Gogeta from a starter deck. Put 2 battle cards at the bottom of the deck, draw 2 cards. It's still a playable removal, but the Barrier helps you protect. On the other hand, some of the cards that ignore Barrier are too powerful.
Yeah, I don't think they should have ever printed a card that says ignore barrier. Because for example, in Magic, they'd never really print cards that say ignore hexproof, would they?
No,
They
printed
printed a land that you can target your opponent and their permanents as though they had no hexproof this turn.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so maybe that's like 1 card in a billion sets.
And it costs 2 mana to activate the ability because you tap the land and you pay 1.
Oh yeah, it was that green card.
No, it's a colorless land from Core 19.
Right, so exactly, so they've printed 1 card in 25 years that ignores hexproof or gets around hexproof.
Oh no, there is other cards as well. It's not just that one.
Yeah,
I mean, you go around it because you have cards that say your opponent sacrifices, which goes around hexproof.
Exactly. I think that's what this game should have done. It should have just worded the cards better where it says...
No, yeah, that's the biggest problem, is the wording in the cards. Like, in Magic the Gathering, it's fine if something's got hexproof, because literally, like, all Wraths effects
Yes.
pretty much
Exactly.
hit them.
Yeah.
But in this
Uh,
game, it's like, oh no, I think you find it has the word choose, therefore.
There's
No.
only a few board wipes that don't choose, and one that chooses, but also it negates all the effects, being Zeno.
And then there's that new green one coming out in set 6.
Is there?
Yeah, there's a green one that's a wish card, and it just literally
Oh
removes
yes,
everything.
yes. That's ridiculous as well.
Which is
I'm
okay,
just
and it
reading-
only affects the opponents as well.
Yeah, I'm just reading the card, and then if you have no battle cards, you get to play one.
Yeah, it's bonkers. it's so dumb. But effects should be like that. Like, there's a lot of cards in the game that as soon as Barrier got printed, it literally just killed them dead. And
Yeah.
some of them
Yeah.
weren't even played anyway. But when I was shoving through my cards, like, has anyone here ever in their life cast Death Razor?
Yes,
I don't even
Yes,
know
I
what
have.
it is.
yeah.
You have?
I was playing
Yeah.
Metacooler.
I'm going to Google this.
That shows you how bad the card is.
I played it because I was playing.
I played it in sealed.
Yeah,
Dropbox.
I was playing like a cooler deck, and I just
Yeah.
needed removal.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
I'll catch up with you guys in a second. Let me read it.
It's not very good. It's not
So just
exciting.
KO something in rest and it costs 2 yellow. That card's terrible.
Yes.
That goes hand in hand with that, the other yellow card out of that set that turns them all into rest mode. Or you choose a card and it turns to rest
Oh
mode.
man, that makes Death Razor even worse. That's the one I thought it was. Get out of here. I just read it. It wasn't even the card I assumed it was.
So one card that created power creep that I think though was SS3 Goku, the leader.
Yes, but that's
Oh.
rightfully so banned.
Yeah, like this card was bonkers.
Oh no. SS3 was fine compared to the days where you have Mecha Freezer, and you could like objection 3 times on turn 1 and be like, oh!
No. Mecha Freeze was balanced.
Yes, sir.
That was I think I've got like 24 of them in my binders.
What, for the one day where it's that bad that it becomes played?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was I love that deck. I just loved sitting across from your opponent and going Manaka, objection, pass. They go 1 energy, goes back to you 5, summon go tanks, game over. It was just the best feeling in the world.
I think you've just like kind of with those 2 leaders that you just pointed out, they've taken 2 separate paths, haven't they? So one of them they decided to ban, and the other one they decided to errata.
But they killed it either way.
Yeah, exactly.
Or
So
didn't it do something recently in States? Like,
Yeah,
have
Mecha
it-
did.
yeah.
Mecha Freeze did.
it's just they need to pick a path. They can't just flip-flop between them because they've done it a lot where they've either errated cards or they've banned them.
They stopped
And-
errating cards now. I mean, there was the problem. There is a Babidi, there is a Mecha Frieza, there
They
is
just-
the Triple Flash. I think they need to stop doing that.
The only reason
Yeah.
errata's really bad is because when a new person comes along and they're just playing amongst their friends and they don't really
Yeah.
know to like
Yeah.
research this kind of thing, they
Yeah.
read it and they're like, oh, I'm going to play that, and then they go to a locals and they're like, no, that's not how it works, and it just makes them not want
And
to
the
play
whole
the game.
deck suddenly stops working for them because
Yeah.
they were
And-
playing the Chain Babidi, for example.
So
Yeah, exactly.
just bring out like a gift box thing that's just called like the errata box, or give them out as promos as
That's-
BCCs.
Yeah, that's what Yu-Gi-Oh did, don't they? So if they errata a card, it doesn't become errated until they print out a card
Yeah.
with the errata text on it.
Because that's
Well,
what they
they've
did
done-
with Chaos Emperor Dragon, wasn't it?
Haven't they
Yeah.
done that with Barbady? Isn't there actually a
He's
Barbady
not
that's...
been reprinted because he was only printed as a set-free promo, but he was printed with the old wording.
Yeah. So what they could have done is they could have changed the wording on that promo, and that'd been
Yeah, but
fine.
the
that'd
promo was printed before they made the errata, because they made the errata literally a few days before the release.
Yeah. No. I
No,
They just
I
need to
think... in
get the
the
errata in circulation.
No, I think in the second printing of set 2, it actually has the errata text on it.
No, it doesn't.
I have not seen
Does it not?
errated Babidi yet.
I swear I've got an errata Barbady.
Well, that's worth a lot of money, my friend.
Yes.
Maybe I don't. Maybe I don't.
I mean, we played for so long that for us, we don't need to read Babidi. We know you need to have 6 red energy for its effect to go off.
Yeah. I do remember. Do you know the week that errata happened?
Yeah.
I remember playing at what used to be my locals, and someone that obviously doesn't keep up to it to the extent I do, played Barbady, and then proceeded to like do what he used to do because he was playing. I think he was playing Vegito.
Yeah, because that's the only deck it was played in, really.
Yeah. So then he did it, and then I was like, "Oh no, you can't do that anymore. It doesn't work." And he went, "Why not?" And I was like, "Oh, they've errated it because it's like."
But the problem back then was we didn't know if it's working in EU or not.
Yeah, so then the funny part was he went, "Why?" And I was like, "Why not?" And he was like, "It's because it's really good." And I was like, "That's probably why."
Okay, but we're going away from the topic because the set 3 was really saying that it's going to be power creep, it's going to be a lot of power and things like that. I'm glad that they only printed ever 2 cards that say you win the game, and one of them is really hard to do, which is Beerus, unfortunately. Please make new
No, but
Beerus.
that's a good one though.
Yes,
The
that's
Beerus is
Exodia.
Good way to do it.
Yeah, that's Exodia.
Well, Exodia's an FTK sometimes.
Yes, but it was less than 40% that you could do it with the library.
Just to confirm, I have 18 Mecha Freezers. Just counting.
No, lovely.
Agree to disagree on the Exodia.
What?
I was playing Exodia, I was playing library, I was playing all the different decks. You can tell that I like interactive decks.
Yeah, but in this game, you can't really FTK using the Beerus leader, right?
Yes, that's a good thing. But you can
Sorry.
go for the infinite loop with the Whis.
Yeah, but I mean, if you've let your opponent get to the point where they can do that to you, you probably shouldn't play the deck you're playing anymore. That's true, though, right? If you're sitting there and you've let them get to that much energy to the point where they can literally go Whis, energy, you're playing a bad deck.
I mean, the moment they cast the first Whis, you're dead either way.
Well, that's power creep because in set 2, people could get Baris and it could work, but now,
Yeah,
if someone
I guess
was
so,
like, I just did that.
In set 2, you can do that quite regularly.
Yeah.
Yes. But
it was actually set 3 that enabled you to be able to do it reliably.
No,
you got
it
that...
was set 2. That was the Great Priest, the Grand Priest, whatever it was.
No, in set 3 there was that... Yeah, Kibito Kai.
Oh, that's the infinite turns, but you know that Whis is quad strike. That can't. His attack can't be negated, right?
Yeah, it can't be negated. But if there's one thing I love more than anything in card games, it's jazz hands. If I'm going to kill someone, you're going to do it with jazz hands.
I mean, that's fine, but my tactic was always the same. Have 2 or 3 12-drop Whis in hand and just jam them on board and finish with the secret Vegito.
Oh yeah, I did that.
Yeah, or Zamasu, or whatever.
Yeah.
So the game went set 3 Power Creep Shigesh. Then after set 3 it went
was
TOP.
TOP and that was Victory Strike.
Yeah,
Although, interestingly, TOP on its own did not make that big of a difference. There was the Frieza deck, right? And that was it from TOP.
Yeah, TOP didn't make much of an impact until like people started to get things together, and then they made that Veggie deck. Right?
I mean, there was a Veggie deck and there was a Frieza deck. Then set 5, there was the dog.
No, there's forcing hit though.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that card's not really like a power creeping card, though, right?
But it was a good card for the red decks. It was a good tool for the red decks, and red decks needed that.
Yeah.
I think that was a good card to be printed. Although I'm still not going to forget that John said that it's a bad card.
It is a bad card. It is a terrible card.
What's a bad card?
Foreseeing hit.
No, it's not.
It is terrible. You have to
Why?
submit, I look at your hand, I take 2 cards, okay, do you end? No, I'm attacking with it. I'm like, okay, so I just get 2 more cards back again, right? And they're like, yeah.
No, you're playing it wrong. But in nowadays, by the time that you play forcing hit,
your opponent is usually on 2 life.
Yeah, you play it on 2 life. Then you play the.
Yeah, but then it's not the card, is it? It's they're on 2 lives. Like,
no, but the fact it's the
game,
anyway.
the game sped up. The game sped up. Right now, by turn 3 or 4, unless you're playing against Shenron, your opponent is on 2 life.
I don't like red. Red as a color is garbage.
I'm sorry, what was your last deck? The red swap, wasn't it?
Broly Storm.
No, that was the red swap.
No, that's in my binder because it's free
No,
stuff.
see, when I play against like any Storm deck at the moment, in terms of power creep, like my favorite card is like forcing hit, and in this meta, when I play Vegeta, I play Vegeta Baby Mono Red, and you can literally defend so hard. Go to turn 4. A lot of decks self-suicide. You play forcing hit, lock them down, and on the 5-drop, just evolve the hit and they're dead.
Yeah.
I do that every week.
I feel sorry for your players.
Jesus Christ.
Because
Okay, guys.
everyone commits suicide, and then you're like, oh, play hit. Oh, you're dead.
TOP, horrible creep. What was after TOP?
Set
Castle
4.
Warfare. Okay, so set 4 was the...
Set 4 was alright, because you had the Migra, you had... So, the problem with set 4 was
It
Goten.
created the best deck ever in this game.
Goten BCC.
Yeah, it
The
created
BCC Goten was the problem. It was not part of the set, it was the promo that they made for the set.
Storm. That set just
We
ruined this
skipped.
game.
We skipped over when Mecha Apes was the meta, but we never had that in the UK, I suppose.
Yeah, it wasn't really like a... Yeah, it never really happened over here, did it?
Yeah.
No.
Mecha
We
got
never had
errata
the
here before we got set 3.
That was the one time we actually got to play in America, a meta that America didn't, right?
Yeah.
They didn't,
No.
they didn't. They had that meta when Mecha wasn't around, right? And then when we got that meta, he was. So he wasn't really a part of our meta.
Yeah.
Okay, so now going to the further topic. Talking about future, because we know where the game is right now. Ban list or rotation?
Rotation.
I think majority of people here are going to vote for rotation. At the moment, we
Oh.
have a very extensive ban list.
As a joke for today, can I reply to where is the game today? Can I say in the middle of the ocean?
Which means it hasn't even left the airport because of the weather.
What? What did I miss?
Oh no! About the whole thing of like the set being delayed due to bad weather.
It's in the middle of the ocean, so the plane's like in the middle of the ocean waiting for it
Oh,
to
no,
move
they're
again.
taking it by the boat.
Yeah, it's the
Oh,
boat.
that
now.
would-
They're
bad
getting
weather.
it by the boat. That's why it's
Yeah,
so late.
they put the sails on the wrong way around. They're actually going to backwards. It's on its way to Australia.
They're getting a bunch of carrier pigeons to fly it over, but they're going the wrong way because of the wind.
One pack at a time.
No,
Jesus Christ.
because it's
What
all
exactly is the airspeed velocity of a latent swallow?
Yeah.
Don't make me Google it.
This is the only way this card game's going to die, I reckon, is Bandai doing it themselves like they've previously done with every other card game they've made.
I think the problem that they at the moment that they're facing is that they're not printing the cards here in Europe, at least not for us. So they need to ship it from States, and they need to do it by boat,
Yeah, but-
whatever.
The way the card quality that we have, I don't want them to print it in Europe and
mean,
then give
Do
it
you have a problem with the
subpar
Magic
quality.
cards?
Yeah, they bend.
Not all of them. There are some that are done
All of the
badly.
foil ones.
I'm perfectly
There are
fine
good
with
printers
them
in
shipping
Europe,
it.
though.
Yeah, but about
Yeah,
a year
but-
and a half ago, even non-foils were bending.
Yeah,
I
know.
think
I know.
when you've got a quality of card that we've got in Dragon Ball, which is phenomenal,
yes.
I don't want to change the printers, even if we get a delay of 2 weeks because somebody's ship's gonna blow over or something.
I'm happy to wait for cards as long as America don't get to define our meta. So
Yeah,
if they get in their cards, then they don't get a major tournament before we get them.
I don't think they have a
Then-
major tournament where set 6 is legal, though.
And I don't think our meta is the same as America's meta. We
That's what
play
meta.
so differently.
We're somewhat smarter at building decks, unlike them.
I mean, we have more control decks.
Yeah.
Europe has more control decks than States. States has a lot of aggro decks, but it's the same for Magic, I noticed. A lot of American players are playing aggro decks, and a lot of European players are playing controls.
It was the same in Yu-Gi-Oh as well.
It's the
It's
same
just
in
our
Magic.
play styles are different.
In Magic, every GP I ever went to, like control was always like the highest percentile. Whereas
It's the easier way to play the game, though, right? Because aggro you can lose if the game gets past a certain stage, because then you just can't kill them no more. where control can realistically win at any point in the
Yeah,
game.
if you've seen the current mono red in standard. But mono blue is worse. Never mind
The
that.
thing with
Wrong game.
when you look at Yu-Gi-Oh as well compared to Magic, Asia had a completely different set
Yeah.
list, so they're a couple of sets ahead. But they always play like a combo deck,
But they also
rather
have
than
different promos which literally
They do.
define the decks.
they do. But when you go to Worlds, for example, for Yu-Gi-Oh,
Oh.
and the Asia always wins, and they're always playing combo decks.
Down to rotation, though, you look at the two most healthiest card games ever, Pokemon and Magic, right? They've been going for how long now? Like 25, 30 years for Magic, whatever it is.
Magic is 26 years.
Yeah, and Pokemon's touching 20,
Don't
right?
let me.
What?
Nani?
No,
I just said that Magic's older than me if it's that old.
It's,
Yeah,
it's,
Magic's
it's my
like-
age. It's my
I'm
age.
pretty sure. Yeah, I'm
It's
pretty
from
sure
93.
Magic's- Yeah, and then Pokemon's 20 years this year, right? The actual card game. Like,
Yes, but the current iteration is much younger.
Yeah, but like, so these two card games have got that much experience, and they're both rotation-based card games that just ban cards here and there to protect their other formats.
On
So,
the
like,
other hand, you have Yu-Gi-Oh, which also is doing quite well. It's still the third biggest card game.
but the most cancerous community of any card game I've ever been involved in.
Not all people are bad, okay? We know some nice
Yeah, I just
people.
play Yu-Gi-Oh.
Let's just say if you've walked into a Yu-Gi-Oh room, 70% of those people are straight up dickheads, right? And the other 30% are just the casual players that just want to play Yu-Gi-Oh.
The thing with
No, there are
Yu-Gi-Oh
people
events,
that are over. I think you're putting the percentage there, but that's not the point of the video.
Yeah.
There are people that are over serious in every card game. The problem is that sometimes you see them more than others, but that's mostly because those are the people you notice.
Yeah, and then having a ban list, it kind of like, I'm not sure if you guys feel like this, but when I played Yu-Gi-Oh, knowing there was a ban list, it put me on edge to want to commit to certain things.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
So I know the 1st of March, say like it's December, right? You're like 1st of March is Yu-Gi-Oh ban list. Do I want to commit to playing this deck? And then it may or may not get banned.
Yeah, but
Like,
you see, that used to be the case. Right now, the
Yeah.
ban list can drop when the hell they want it.
so how is
Yeah.
that even more helpful?
It's not
It's
because I
not.
remember for Yu-Gi-Oh, I invested probably about £200-300 in a deck one time when it first came out. The 2 weeks after it was released,
Was that
it
Pepe?
got banned.
Pepe, yes. Oh, that was an uproar because that was back when the
I
ban
was
lists were.
Furious.
That was
Yeah.
back
I was
when ban
absolutely
lists were regular, and they
Yeah.
dropped the ban list like 2 weeks before, or a week before the event.
Yeah.
Week before YCS. People were furious. A lot of
Because
people
I-
quit
I
over
was-
that.
I just
Yeah.
feel like the ban list or a rotation is linked to how your community will like be towards one another. So if it's a ban list, I just feel like people are more on edge with each other when you want to trade or buy cards and things like that. But where it's a rotation, people are like, I can buy this because I know it's not being rotated for another year. Or
Yeah,
2 years or
true.
6 months. Like it gives you more of a
But the problem is then
balance.
that Bandai needs to start also developing the format outside the rotation, wild for Hearthstone or modern if you prefer Magic terminology, or extended
Yeah,
for Pokemon,
but
whatever
you
it
need
is.
you need like 15 sets to do that, right? Because then you rotate.
No,
4 or
really,
5.
you need 2 years. In the third year, you start the rotation. So for us, it would be next year.
Yeah, so the Final Fantasy card game, I think it's on its 3rd year now, and it's just got to its set 8. Like
Yeah.
just now, it's on its
We
set
have a
8.
bit
It hasn't got a rotation, and I think it only has 3 ban cards. Final Fantasy, so they don't
Yeah.
even know what they're doing yet. And that
I
game
mean, we
is
have a
pretty
bit
interesting.
more. Banned and limited. We have a bit more, don't we? Because we have SS3, we have Flute that's banned, we have Gotten that's banned. Limited is Unrelenting.
The thing, when you
Travels.
actually look at it though, like, I know someone who was at my local who quit playing the game. He quit playing the game because basically, as far as I'm concerned, like, he wouldn't listen to me. that is why he quit the game. So this is back when SS3
What do you mean by
was-
he wouldn't listen to you? What
He
happened?
wouldn't listen to me. I told him not to do it, and he was like, "I'm going to do it."
Okay.
And then because basically he invested in getting SS3 veggies.
Ah.
And then I was like, "Don't do it. You need to check like in the last tournament, like all the top 8 was SS3." And then in the next tournament, like 7 of the top 8 was SS3. And then he was like, "Oh, I'm going to get the deck." And I was like, "Don't do it. It's going to get banned literally any day. The game is cancer at the moment. Don't buy it." So then he brought the deck. And then literally, I think it was the following day, it got banned. And he was like, "Oh, I quit." And I was like, I literally said, "Don't do that." But with ban lists, you can basically, I think, if you are a good player, you can look at something and you can pretty much figure out if something's going to happen to it.
Oh, I'm sorry. So you want to tell me that you predicted that the free drop cell is going to get limited?
Mm,
Yes. Oddly, I
That
said
was the most stupid decision ever. What was
yes
Cell
and no.
doing? Cell is garbage. It's so
Nothing.
bad.
He wasn't doing anything.
I think the
but
problem was
just-
that it was a turn 2 or turn 3 30k double strike on board.
Out of the whole Cell chain, the one you limit is the 5-drop, the one that destroys and draws. You limit that one because then they can still go into the Vile one that was in the Ultimate Box and things like that.
like at the end of the day, I think when they did it, I think that 3-drop card in particular affects the rest of the cell cards they ever print.
Yeah.
Pretty much, unless they
Or
start
makes-
doing.
If it
Or
Only-
costs
makes it
5 or
playable.
if it's 5 or less that they want to print, then yeah, the free
Yeah,
drop affects it. It can't have too
when-
powerful of an effect when you play it,
The
because you can drop
second-
it turn 3.
Yeah, but the second they banned restricted, I'll say banned because they basically banned it.
Yeah, there's no
When-
way to search it.
When they hang on, let me do it. I'm doing it with my fingers. When they restricted it, the first thing I said was, "Okay, they're just going to reprint it as a 3-drop, and it costs 1 green to do it."
Yes, I expect that that's what they're going to do in June.
And then, after that point, you will have access to 4 cards where you pay green and a one of where you get to do it for free.
I think after that they're just going to ban the one that does it for free.
No, I think having 5's fine. I think having a one of in your deck that lets you occasionally, you'll just go.
No, because it becomes the maxi paradox.
I think that 3-drop was actually healthy for any other Cell they reprint. It lets the deck actually play the game. But then if you play it turn 3 and you tap out to do whatever your big boy play is, but then your opponent just manages to draw the card or they Cell chain you down to 3, all you realistically need a card that kills Cell and a card that can just draw you another card. And you're back where you started. I don't think the 3-drop was the problem. I feel like you just get rid of the 5-drop. Because then the
I
5-drop,
think
they can do it once.
I think they needed to get rid of Cell. I don't think Cell was good for the game.
Well, it hasn't done anything, right?
No, but
No, no,
the
no.
existence
It
of
was
Cell.
the threat. It was the threat of Cell more than anything because when you
Yes.
were building deck, you had to think, "Oh, Cell's a matchup I need to concentrate on."
Isn't that the same argument that we had earlier, though, right? About Shige's explosive.
Yep.
If you know exactly, you know how
No,
to
but
play
right
around.
now in the current meta, the threat of Kami doesn't let you keep 4 battle cards at the end of your turn. The threat of Dende keeps you aware of when and how you use your objection. Doesn't mean your opponent is going to play that card, but the threat of the card existing there. The problem with Cell was that it was affecting you much higher because
Yeah,
it was affecting you on the deck building level,
yeah.
and it forced you to be aware of a matchup that might not happen. But if on Euros suddenly someone plays Cell, if it was not affected by the ban list, and you were completely not ready for it, and then you're suddenly screwed.
But has Cell ever won anything? As far as
I
I
would-
remember, it's won
For
one.
Euros, I was going to play Cell until it got banned because I thought it was the best deck.
But then it loses to like all the Broly decks, right?
Well, no, it's dropping the whole hand.
Yeah,
But Triple Flash wins turn 2, turn 3. Broly Storm wins turn 2.
so you'd be playing it with the Android leader, and you'd be playing the Deadly Defender on turn 2.
Yeah.
But then,
then you
depends who
have
goes
the-
first, right?
Then you have
It's
the
the dice
negate
roll
that
then.
KOs.
Yeah,
Sparking the negate that KOs.
like I said, I think for Euros before it got banned, Cell was the best deck.
We can agree to disagree there.
But
I mean,
there are
I was
Hand
thinking,
control absolutely grabs Cell's head and shoves it in its testicles. Like, it cannot beat hand
Please
control.
keep the language fairly decent.
That's, I tried to think of best PG version, but that's literally what it does. It grabs out and kills him.
No, what you're doing.
I know. I agree with what you're saying there.
Let's
But
not.
at the same time, hand control beats Janemba. What deck won Euros?
Yeah, but no one played hand control. Like I think there was like 3 or 4 people that I know of that were actually playing it and got anywhere
Three
near top
people,
64.
one made top 16, and the other two were
Yeah.
one went off top 16, being
I
me and
just-
Sijin.
Yeah, and it beats Pan. Hand control also beats Pan.
Yeah.
And then hardly anyone played it, which is baffling to me. But yeah, that's not talking about rotation though. Right?
Yes, it's.
Yeah. But then a rotation, if they did it now, that would have got rid of the whole cell threat instantly.
I don't think they're going to do the rotation just now. As I said, beginning of the next year would
Yeah.
when the new block hits in January or February, something like that. If they manage to get a new block then, and then ban everything from the last year. So
Yeah,
rotate
I
out
think
last year.
rotation is the answer, but I don't think the game's big enough at the moment to support multiple formats like Magic can with like standard and modern. Because
Yeah.
I think what that would do is it'd split the community, and the community is so small at the moment.
But that's in
You
Europe.
can't
In
support two
States, it's
separate
big enough, and we already learned that Bandai looks at States and doesn't care for Europe.
Okay, yeah. Okay, so if we're talking about just about Europe, for example, at my locals, if we had to split the community in half, and half of them would play modern, and half of them would play standard, we'd have 2 4-man tournaments running at the
No,
most.
but that's where you'd be smart though, right? One week you'll do standard, the next week you'll do expanded, then people can experience with different formats. If they want to play the game that badly, one week they can do standard, the next week they can just add in their cards that they obviously still have into the expanded game, and then so on.
But the
and so
problem
forth.
is that you might have some players like we had a player that built a budget decks, and then suddenly he doesn't have money to buy himself in new stuff, and he might be off-put by the rotation, where only
No, but
the last
no,
year
a
of his sets is worthwhile something.
Wouldn't a rotation help someone like that though? If their budget and they still got all the old stuff, then they play the expanded format, surely.
Yes, but then they play every 2 weeks.
But then that's better than not playing at all and then having a really unhealthy card game because of the sheer amount of crap in it.
Like I said, I think rotation is the best way to go, but we shouldn't make an expanded or modern version of the game for a while,
Yeah,
because
I agree with that.
the game's just not big enough.
I think it should exist, but again, I think it should be done next year, not this year. We still need to work through what Bandai has in works for us for this year, which I'm starting to get scared about because they're starting a new block next set.
Once we get to set 10, including theme packs, that means we'll have 15 sets, right? Because there's a theme pack after every 2 sets, right? Or is it
Yeah, but
13?
it's in between the block usually.
Yeah. So I'd feel like 15 or so sets that's when you can really start doing the rotation.
So
Because then
we're
you
on
can rotate
6. So total we have 9 sets at the moment. So we're going to have 7 theme 8. Then we're going to have 9 theme 10. I think that when we're going to hit that set 10, we should be fine on the rotation and rotate set 1, 2, 3, 4 TOP and World Martial Arts. I just want TOP to be rotated out because Victory Strike is not a fair card.
Oh no, you just ban Victory Strike. You just ban that crap.
No, I think it should be legal if they're going to make it like separate format.
If we did rotation, do you think it'd change the price of Victory Strike?
No.
No.
Secret Rare Goku, hard to get. It has its value in just being a Goku, right?
And it also has its value on the TOP was a low print set. It's not many people were actually buying TOP back then.
I actually, oddly, I was speaking to Bandai, and all of those sets are actually one print run.
Yes.
I assumed
all the theme sets are one print run. I know that.
I assumed it was the first one, and then they decided that was a stupid idea, and then increased. Like they just literally not print to demand, but just do more than one wave.
They increased the total amount with the further theme sets, but they still do one print. They're supposed to be those more exclusive. That's why the cards from the from the theme sets are the most commonly put into the event packs or whatever. Because that was the event pack that had all the super combos from the no,
Yeah.
from the TOP. But yeah,
So
what
should,
about?
should we do a vote on what we think should happen with
I
rookie
mean,
rotation?
I think we pretty agree that it's going to be rotation, 4 votes.
Yeah.
I mean,
So
unless
four,
Liam
four
has a
for rotation, 0 for banlets.
I mean,
Yeah,
banlist works right now, but I do hope that Bandai is going to target
limited,
towards rotation. I do
heavily
Yeah.
hope
limited
that
ban
Bandai is targeting towards rotation. I'll cross my fingers. The game is already doing better than Naruto ever did in Europe, so
Yeah.
uh,
That's because Naruto had a really bad anime.
yes, but the card game was actually quite fun. I was playing it. The problem for it
Yeah.
was that we could only import cards from States because there was only one set
Yeah.
ever printed in Europe.
Oh,
I think that's one of the reasons why Dragon Ball is doing so well is because the anime to go along with it was so good.
Yeah, and
Um,
it's still going. I mean, now you have
Yeah.
movies and things
They,
like that.
they released the card game at a perfect time with Dragon Ball Super, the actual
Yeah.
anime. Like, it was at its peak. Like it was like insane at that time.
And
They
like
released the card game.
Previous Dragon Ball game they had that was based on the Naruto engine
Yes.
that didn't
I mean-
survive 3 sets.
I was gonna say I haven't watched Super yet. I'm still on Z. Calm down, boys.
Oh Jesus.
Go for
I bet you're
GT.
loving life though.
Who is
I
this
got-
man and why is he here?
I'll be like, I think this is widely documented that I never actually watched the show before I played the game.
I mean,
Yeah,
it is
it
now
is.
documented. It's going to be on YouTube.
Yeah.
Ah.
Do you know what I
I'll
think we
make sure
should
to
do?
put it in the description that you have not that Liam has not watched Dragon Ball prior to
How
playing
do
the
you-
game.
Before
And he
like
was
the
the
next
judge
big...
on Europe, and he was the judge on the Europeans.
Before the next big tournament, we should book out a hotel room, like a suite, and just play Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball GT, and Dragon Ball Super just for Liam.
no.
Fucking Liam would go, what is a garlic junior?
What is what?
I don't know how long we would need to actually stay in that hotel to watch all of it.
Who
No,
is a
Probably
Mr.
about
Popo?
a week
Why is-
straight.
I think
No,
a
I've
bit
watched
longer.
Dragon Ball. I've started watching Dragon Ball Kai or whatever it's called.
Who is Mr. Popo? Why is he racist? Yeah.
Okay.
How would you guys feel in like a Dragon Ball world?
I don't think so.
No.
Why
I
not?
know that they have it in plans, but it's weird.
I
Yeah, I
just
don't
really want to. I just really
You mean
want
like a theme
tournament.
park?
No, a world tournament.
Oh,
Card
okay.
game world tournament. I really want there to be one. I really,
Yeah,
really
that
do.
sounds good.
I mean, this
So,
year they're more organized about their events, so. Okay, guys. Thanks a lot for joining us. Yes, thank you for helping me with this podcast.
Thanks
Yes,
for being late, Liam.
thanks for joining. Yes.
I won't lie.
Hope you guys enjoyed it. Let us know what do you think about the ban list or rotation and about the card game altogether. Take care.
Goodbye.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed it, please consider leaving a like and subscribing to the channel. Also, check out our other videos.